Recently, I had this really cool insight. Basically, just as you know, I am a person on self-improvement. I'm trying to maximize things in my life, like health, like happiness, like the overall quality of life and like relationships, anything, right? And my dad recently criticized me for being selfish and arrogant. Then I remembered something I heard on the internet recently. When it comes to healthy people, like self-improvement people just like us, having healthy, this is a crucial word here, having healthy levels of self-love is perceived as arrogance and selfishness. Why is that? Think about it. Most people, like average person, leads quite unhealthy life. They, lack sleep, they lack nutrition, they aren't eating protein, that they aren't eating like healthy and processed foods like vitamins and stuff. They are just eating, processed garbage and, maybe overeating. They aren't exercising, not doing like all of those mental health habits like journaling or gratitude or anything. Basically, it doesn't matter. What matters is those people are the ones that will tell you that you are selfish and you are arrogant. What I mean by all of this is that maybe, just as you think about it, maybe it's not that you are arrogant and selfish. Maybe those people who criticize you for it, they are really insecure and they have really low self-esteem, self-love, right? And because they see you having like healthy levels of self-esteem, basically having some respect to yourself, putting yourself like on priorities, your like well-being, it may be perceived just as arrogance, as selfishness. My exact story was that basically back in like 2019, I used to be so social, I promise. I had many friends and I was like a group leader. I remember everyone was like looking up to me because, I had cool grades at school, but I wasn't a nerd. I was a leader, but, I was like obviously like 12 years old or anything. Then when the COVID struck, like the COVID lockdown, I was there at my home, just, studying at school online and just basically because I was in primary school still back then. The whole school wasn't that serious. We were just playing games 24/7. I was just waking up, not having any like breakfast. And I was sitting in front of my computer for like 15 hours straight from like, 7 a.m. to like 10 p.m. and I was playing games on Discord with my friends. Of course, my life wasn't that good at that point because I was so unhealthy. Imagine that I started having some like weird mental health problems. My anxiety was so high back then that I was really scared of barely going to do some shopping or, hanging out with friends, basically going outside my home. I felt so nauseous every time that it basically stole the entire fun I was supposed to have socializing. And then, when in 2022, I discovered this whole basically broad self-improvement thing, one of the pillars of it were relationships. And I started to learn about how to be more social, how to be a better speaker, how to make people like you more, and basically all of those things. And it's only I started implementing those because I completely lost my leadership like skills, my leadership character that I used to have back in 2019. And since then, since I started to learn about socializing thing, only now, like 3 years later, because it's 2025, almost 2026, only now I am liked by my friends from my high school, which whom I met in 2022. Because, I, of course, discovered because I just, became better at life overall, the biggest tip for you to, just like a bonus tip for you to become more social, is just to be more arrogant. If you want to know more, I have a video, you can check it out somewhere up there. It's very cool insight, and this is basically top one tip that I had that made me more social and more like liked by people. Anyways, now for the first time ever since basically being a kid in 2019, I feel liked, I feel social, I feel personally funny, and I see it. And even some friends told me that the difference between me 3 years ago and me now is very huge. I'm a very cool person, they say. One of my friends even stated that, you know, he used to not like me because he thought I was weird nerd, like, you know, anime guy, you know, just studying and, you know, just being weird and not talking that much and anything. And the twist here is that he is like one of my best friends at school right now. And he told me that he thought I was weird and he didn't like me. This is the change I have made since basically starting self-improvement. But now some people criticize me for it because I make them feel insecure, because my self-love, my self-esteem levels are so high so that when some people compare my levels to theirs, it's like, yeah, Chris is very arrogant and selfish person, right? And of course I could, you know, take it to my heart. I could say that, yeah, maybe you're right, guys. Yeah, let me be more, you know, humble as I used to be. Of course, I'm not saying that humbleness is bad and you should be like arrogant asshole. It's not what I'm saying. Healthy arrogance and healthy self-love, what I mean by that is not putting yourself under other people. So when you're socializing with your friends at school or anything, you're not treating yourself in a way that you have to like be that person who will make others feel good. You're just putting yourself even with other people or even higher than them. And because of it, you do not have any like weird, uncomfortable silence moments because you just do not care, right? You could just then say, okay, you're right, guys, and try to be more humble, but be honest with you. This will kind of stop your growth because if you relate to the thing I'm talking about, you see the progress first time for years, and then some people are saying things that are very likely to stop your growth. Maybe instead of caring about things people say, you should rather objectively look at what is happening in your life. Of course, if I was so arrogant so that people told me, or I felt it, sorry, because we're not talking about telling right now. When I felt that some people are kind of withdrawn by my presence, or, you know, they are kind of avoiding contact with me, they're, you know, they're trying to spend less time with me than they used to. This is okay. This is a sign that something is not okay, that you are maybe too arrogant or too selfish to be liked. But when I see more and more people becoming friends with me, when I see my social skills getting better, my, you know, already present relationships getting better, people liking me more, why the hell should I stop it? Why the hell should I stop being arrogant and selfish in healthy meanings of these things, when people obviously and visibly show me that they like me more? This sound probably ruins my whole image, yeah. If you still feel that someone who you are becoming is someone bad, just remember that when it comes to friends and when it comes to self-improvement, those two things, middle ground is absolutely the worst. Because when you are on the middle ground, your old friends, your old like acquaintances, they start to tell that you are arrogant. They try to, stop your growth because they feel insecure, because they are stuck still, in the old life while they see you improving, right? But still, your new friends, your like high-level friends, still aren't there because you haven't progressed there just yet. So you just have to become patient. And the biggest lesson from this video is to not lose your composure when it comes to your beliefs. Whether it's, being arrogant, being selfish, or maybe some people telling that you are focusing on gym too much, that you are, just not hanging out that much because you're just there, working on some meaningful things like business, studying or reading books or anything. Do not lose your composure. Stay as you are, because if you see that you are growing, why the hell would you want to stop it? Don't be fooled by people perceiving your self-love and your high self-esteem as arrogance and selfishness. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate you watching that far. Leave a comment if some ideas from this video resonated with you. You can subscribe. We are building an audience, and yeah, thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one. See you.